all this time developing the thing. So speak to me, Shantae, as your sister friend, as your Mama T person who is acting like Mama T today. So forgive me, but I'm just remembering that we want you to win. So
We want to win.
so Julie, are you okay with doing October 24th?
I'm gonna need some coaching.
Well, you will have plenty, but the most important thing is to identify somebody, because I know there are quite a few Black women in the Boston branch. Am I right?
Okay.
So
All right.
the one thing you haven't done is found your co-representative to the caucus. So there should be two of you from the Boston branch who are co-representatives to the caucus. And once you choose that person, the two of you should work on the agenda, and I'll be happy to help you with it, as well as I'm sure George will, because we know based on the agenda from this meeting, the October agenda should build on this meeting. And I do know some items that need to be on it, not the least of which is the December 11th Human Rights Conference. But George will share this month's agenda with you, so you will have that, and then you will build on that. And I'm so glad to know you're a nurse in Boston. And just as an aside, I had my brain aneurysm done at Brigham and Women's Hospital in 1994. So I love Boston nurses. They helped me to survive. So we should talk sometime, Julie. Yeah, I'll drop my number in the chat. It looks like George is back.
Okay.
Yes. So did y'all cover the December 11th Human Rights Conference?
We did.
And did you mention the application for a mini grant?
I did. And I did tell him that the Fannie Lou Hamer branch was submitting the proposal, which is due by October 1, and the gist of it, and even asked Julie if she would facilitate the breakout on CDAW. So we talked about it quite a bit, but the main discussion about it will be at the October board meeting on October 24th, which Julie and her co-representative from the Boston branch will be facilitating.
Fantastic. Well, I think that is the end of our agenda. I'm sorry to miss 10 whole minutes, but my Wi-Fi was refusing to come back. And then my computer froze up. I had a mini moment of anxiety/prayer. At least I know what to do immediately when anxiety happens. And glad that Boston is taking care of our next meeting on October 24th.
Now,
so,
what you need to do, George, is make sure you send all the agenda information and of course the recording to Julie from this meeting, since she missed the earlier part of the meeting, so that she can build the continuity between this meeting and the meeting she will be facilitating. And by the way, what happened to Shamaya? We could still see her in the meeting, but
yes, I came back. I had something personal take place and I had to leave my computer, but I am back.
Oh, okay, great, because we kept calling on you when we lost George.
So there'll be two recording links. Sometimes when I lose my Wi-Fi, if I restart my computer, it comes back. But after I lost Wi-Fi, the recording link started converting. So I didn't dare shut my computer off and restart because I could lose the Lions part of our meeting. So that's what took longer. And then as soon as it converted, I was able to get back on Wi-Fi, which means there'll be two different links. I'll upload them both and send them to y'all, which of course will be limited to distribution to the Black Liberation Caucus.
And George, if you could drop your number in the chat to Julie. I did drop my numbers in the chat to Julie because she said she might need some coaching or whatever. But if you could do that.
Great. And anything need to be said that hadn't been said? Anyone have anything on their heart or mind that we need to make sure we cover?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So the meeting that I know I have a presentation on October 30th. That's a different, I mean, it's a different group, right?
Yes.
Well, that's a good point, George. We should give a report about yesterday because it was really fantastic. It was like a WILF meeting. And so if you don't mind, George, I'd like to just give a report of what happened at the Umoja Unity Talks of the Black Liberation Movement, which
That would be great.
which occurred from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. There were 25 people in the Zoom, and only 3 of them were men. And they didn't say a word during the whole time. And most of the 23 women were actually members of WILF. So it was like an amazing dynamic meeting. And we were able to see the formation of 2 new branches coming into place. The Fort Mill Rock Hill branch, which has lots of professors who had recently joined, thanks to our board member of the Southern Anti-Racism Network, Jennifer Disney, who is a professor in women's studies at Winthrop University in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and she's been signing up members like crazy. So she had, I think, 5 people in the meeting just from the university, and 4 of them were members of WILF, recent members of WILF. And then Dee is writing that Alfred is somebody that she invited to the meeting, one of the men who didn't say anything. But at any rate, the other women were women from the Sacramento branch, the Philadelphia branch, the Triad branch, the Fannie Lou Hamer branch. I know there must have been at least 7 or so branches represented. Boston with Julie. So there were lots of WILF branches. So it looked like a WILF meeting. And it was at that meeting that I asked Julie to lead the next discussion, because our theme is burn patriarchy down to the ground. So Julie is going to provide a presentation about what's happening in Africa, in particular as it relates to war, which we know is a male dominated expression, because men have been leading the way at making wars from the beginning of time. And so there may be some stories of women warriors, but by and large, especially in the modern era, wars have been led by men throughout the world. And Julie is going to speak to that. She'll have 10 minutes. So all of you on the Black Liberation Caucus will be getting an invite to join the discussion on October 30th, which will be 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., which Julie will be our presenter. And by the way, Julie, there's a $200 honorarium because this project is organized by the Southern Anti-Racism Network. So Nellie Hester Bailey, who spoke yesterday, she will get a $200 honorarium, and you will get a $200 honorarium for speaking on October 30th. So we're really glad that you're doing that. You can go out and buy yourself a cup of coffee or something.
Exactly.
So George, that's all I have. So I'm open to your calling for a motion to adjourn if there are no questions.
I don't see anyone's hand up. I don't see anything in the stack. I too thought yesterday was fantastic and thought about us closing with some reference to that. So perfect timing, Teresa. Thank you so much for that. One of the things that we do regularly with the Emoji Unity Talks is we begin with music and we end with music. The ending music gives people time to save the chat. I know that all of y'all know how to save the chat, but I'm going to play one of the songs we played yesterday because I thought it was a great way for us to end the meeting today. So if y'all missed it, you get to see this great video. And if you did come yesterday, you get to re-experience it because it was awesome. So thank you, everyone. See you next month or sooner in the Advancing Human Rights Committee meeting, maybe Wednesday. Thanks for all that you do, and I'll be in touch. Oh, wait a minute. Do that one more time. Yes.
Are you doing what if, George?
Maybe.
Let's do what if.
George, you want to stop the recording?
Definitely stop the recording. We don't want to get into any copyright issues anymore.
Thanks again, everybody. Take care. And thanks Shemaye and Shante and Teresa and Philip for helping to support the meeting and get everything covered.
Thank you, guys, and I apologize. I had to break from the meeting earlier. I did write it in the chat, but maybe I should have made the announcement a little more pronounced there. But thank you, and this has been a great meeting, and I'm excited for the work ahead.
Bye.
Bye.